Blood and glitter, sweet and bitter, we're so happy we could die. Blood and glitter!
So we're here with the Blood Artist at Bloodstock Festival, and we're looking at some of your amazing artwork. Now, I love the Jesus head, is it? Which I can't quite figure out which pair of faces. It's three faces blended into one. Now, in their own right, they're amazing bits of artwork, but they are also done in your own blood?
That is correct, yes. 100% my own blood. I don't use any preservatives, I don't use any anticoagulants. It's my pure blood, but also I do use water just to get the different hues, the different levels of saturation with the coloration of blood.
And so what inspired you to do this then?
So I've been, and this might sound somewhat weird, I don't know, but I've been wanting to work with my blood for about 10, 15 years before I started painting with the blood. Again, I initially was known as a guitar luthier, so I built guitars for 10 years, 2012 to 2022. Things became a little bit perfunctory. I felt like I was doing it as a chore. So I realized I had to give that up and move on to something more creative, which would fulfill my sort of creative soul, as it were. So, I bit the bullet and created works that used my blood. So each of the paintings here, we have 7 paintings in the series Magna Opera, and they have a through line, they have a foundation in different occultic disciplines, different forms of high levels of thought, as it were. So esotericism, mysticism, hermeticism, magic in its true definition, Kabbalah, tarot, existentialism. So there's a lot of different factors. You picked up on something very, very interesting at the start of this conversation. Each painting exists as a singular work in itself. They're multifaceted, multidimensional, so they have a multitude of meanings in each painting, but also as a collective of the 7 paintings in the series. They each fulfill a different level of meaning.
What we are is but a choice, a promise to ourselves. We are free to break and change. Never forget to let go. There's no need to know whether above or below. We are all from the same blood. Blood and glitter, sweet and bitter. We're so happy we could die.
In order to do one of these paintings, how much blood would you know? Is it something that, and I presume if you're working with the fact that it is going to coagulate and you have a limited amount of time, so presumably you can't just have a...
Somewhat, to some degree. So there are 7 paintings here. I've had 4 extractions for these 7 paintings. I only fainted on one occasion, but my wife here caught me, which I'm grateful to her. But you mentioned about the coagulation of the blood. Blood will always coagulate, no matter what you do to it. Again, like I said, I don't use any anticoagulant, I don't use any other intrusive material, it's purely blood and water. But when my blood is extracted, I freeze the blood in vials, so I take 1 vial at a time, defrost it, and then, for certain elements I water it down. So that way I can control what I want in the painting without sort of denaturing the blood in itself, without using too much at a time, but to really keep the blood for a longer time. I put it in a glass full of water and then put that in my fridge. So if I didn't use the water to surround the vial of blood, then it would eventually dry out. But if you use vial of blood in a glass of water, it helps maintain that fluidity.
Just sign your name in blood on the dotted line. The ambulance is yours now, but your soul is mine. Now reach out with your hands and all you'll be fine. Together we can touch the divine.
And you've got some very rich, well, looking at one here, very dark, rich colours in it. Is there a danger that, can you expose these to light? Will they fade? Will that affect them?
Well, what you're seeing here are prints of the original. So okay. I am in possession of the originals, but these are prints, so I could do this a million times, print this. But the originals, they are prone to sunlight exposure and the denaturation of the chemical makeup of blood in itself. Yes, that would happen. After I created each painting, I sealed them with wax, a very specific type of wax. which is used in like fine art. So they will probably last for a good 200 years without any form of denaturation. But yeah, we shall see. I'll be dead by that point, so if I sell them within my lifetime, I'll be very happy, let's put it that way.
And you say this is a work of 7 pieces.
Yes.
How much other stuff have you got, or what other stuff are you planning?
Well, I've only ever painted 8 blood paintings in my life. I started about 2.5 years ago. And there was a gap of a year and a half. I was studying at the time, so I just left them. But yes, I'm very big on numerology as well, so there is a very significant prominence to the number 7, so there had to be 7 paintings. But as to future works and that, I do have some things in my mind at the minute for like another 3 series, so we shall see.
Would you ever combine the guitars and the art? Do something that combined the blood art with the guitars, or would that too wouldn't work?
Could work. Due to the nature and the coloration of the blood, it would probably stand out best on something with a white background. So the original material in which I indelibly ascribed my blood to was watercolor paper. On a guitar, it would have to be, I'm saying it would probably have to be like a white guitar to really give it that definition and validation to see it as blood, which could be sealed, of course, so under some sort of polyurethane or lacquer. But yeah, I mean, that is a possibility. I might consider that in the future. We'll see what happens.
And if you want to find out more about you or buy prints, whereabouts do we go?
Yes, so my website, www.thebloodartist.com. You can find me on Instagram as well, The Blood Artist. Very, very simple.
Raining blood from a lacerated sky, bleeding its horror, creating my structure. Now I shall rain in blood.
And are you doing any more exhibitions planned?
Nothing planned as yet. So from Cornwall, I live in Miami, Florida sometimes, and I'm kind of back and forth. I'm a dual citizen, so which helps. So I used to do a lot of exhibitions with the guitars in both places, all throughout the UK and all throughout America. So I will do some sort of tour with these at some point, but nothing's planned as of yet.
Okay, that's super. Well, thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much.
Blood